Hi, my name is Lane Michael Stanley, and I'm the director of the documentary Quentin Blue. And before we dive into the film today, I want to give you a little bit of context for what you're about to see. Quentin Blue is a music documentary. It's a story about a band formed in San Quentin, but we've also approached the storytelling from a restorative justice lens. And I want to take a moment to explain what exactly that is. So restorative justice is many things, but ultimately it asks us to hold space both for the reason a crime was committed, the context it was committed, who someone was, what they were struggling with that led them to the point that they made the decision that they made, right alongside the sometimes profound impacts of those crimes and the harm caused by them. And restorative justice asks us to hold that complexity and not let either of those things negate the other. And so you are going to hear crime stories in this film, and they do include murder, domestic violence, and sexual abuse. So we let you know that so that you can choose when and how to watch this film in the way that best takes care of you. But I also want to share that because we've really discovered that we have a real opportunity here to show what positive accountability looks like. But because we set out to make a short documentary, or we thought we were making a short documentary, we didn't quite have time to dig into the real value system and framing of defining restorative justice within the film itself. And we feel that it's the next step in our mission to expand the film into a feature documentary that can provide a lot more of that framing, definitions, and examples of what the work looks like inside and outside of prison, so that we can educate and make the film more accessible to a wider audience and bring people into restorative justice work who might be new to the concept of perpetrators healing. So we hope that if you're moved by what you see, that you'll check out the film website, which is linked in the description, to see how, what our fundraising goals are, the resources that we need to complete the feature version, and how you can become part of our community. So thank you so much for watching, and we're excited to connect with you.
Walk down Cherrywood Lane, past house where you grew up. Pretty much still looks the same, right down to the pink mailbox. Thinking back lately about how things might have been.
Hey, Billy, rehearsal.
All right.
Over the course of my incarceration, everybody in my family passed away.
Everybody ready?
Yeah, I think so. We're working on it, man, waiting for you.
I felt like these guys were my brothers before I left San Quentin. I figured when I left San Quentin, I would never see them again.
I know. I had to drag this guy in from the yard.
Music, all the way through prison, kept me alive, really.
That's my weed garden. I know, we growing weed in the backyard.
Things we leave behind, we're working on, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm blessed, truly. And sometimes I think I don't deserve it at all. But we're doing okay.
Still looks the same, right down to the pink mailbox.
So in the original band, before we had a chance to get guitars over on B Yard, they wouldn't trust us with anything that had a metal truss in it.
No.
Right?
Oh, wow.
So the only thing we could get was a nylon string guitar.
Nylon classical, sure.
But before we got these guitars, Marco, who's in the picture, right? My buddy Marco, he made himself a guitar out of cardboard and strings, just to be able to practice his chords, because it had been so long since he had a guitar in his hand. He came over from Old Folsom to B Yard, and he had a beautiful 12-string, right? And they made him send it home.
Oh, man. See here, so I can open the...
When I got to Corcoran, I couldn't get near any of the keyboards because they had shut down the arts and corrections program.
Yeah.
So I made a cardboard keyboard just so I could practice.
Smart.
There's some really great musicians in prison. Really great musicians in prison. Going to prison saps you of your self-confidence, of your self-worth, because the state has said you are guilty, you are less than, you are a convict, you are done, you are going to jail. You're going to stay there. And with a life sentence, guess what? You're likely to die there. Find your rehabilitation in that punishment.
Mr.
No
Chrisman.
paparazzi on set, man. Yeah, that's front him off. Front him off.
What's up?
Someone must have told me, because it seems I knew. The memories are kind of grainy, come in shades of green and blue.
You know, some of these guys had such talent, and Rishi was a good example of somebody who, despite all the horribleness of prison and being in there for so long, his musical ability really was a source of flourishing for him.
A lot of this, to me, is about building back up a self-esteem that I didn't have when I was young. And working and functioning and paying my bills and doing all that good crap, you know what I'm saying? I like helping people and making amends, just being part of the community and being of service to people. That's my first picture in the CDCR. Folsom Prison. This was my last.
Can you talk about the crime that took you to prison and tell us what happened?
Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Okay. I was complicit in the murder of my sister-in-law, Cindy Marie Morris, on a methamphetamine spree. Spun out on methamphetamine. Just came to a point where we felt we hated her enough that her life, didn't mean anything. This is what I'm telling you. Not considering how those waves were going to, in a very short time, move out and begin to affect her. I had no consciousness of that. Didn't give a flying shit. The only thing I could think of is this person is in my life and I want him out of my view, and that's it. End of problem, right? But it wasn't the end of the problem. Because as a result of that, I carry her with me for the rest of my life. Out of my sense of obligation, my sense of duty to her, right, as the person that's responsible for ending her existence. You know what? Everything I do, anything that happens to me that's positive, I reflect back and I honor her with it. And I feel like that is the best thing I could possibly do to make amends, and then encourage other people not to think that way, right? And tell them that there is hope. You don't have to do this. You don't have to act this way. Is the elevator working?
It is working, but my key fob is not working.
Oh, I got you. Come on. What is this?
Here, use this.
I'm just gonna dig my hand in.
I know, I didn't want to witness that.
Is that the last of it?
Yeah, and then we got a Sky.
Yeah, I'll get him. I'll get the fine tune.
met Richie in 2014 at San Quentin State Prison. I had a friend of mine come and talk to me, and he said, there's a guy here you've got to meet. He's a great songwriter, he's a singer.
For me, playing music is a collective thing. It's not just me by myself. It's not just about me. So I got together with Alan and Dwight on a yard one day and sat down and began to show them some of the songs that I'd written, and for whatever reason, they liked them. Now,
They're good songs, Richie. That's why we liked them. They were good songs.
Before we knew it, we were up on stage on our buckets playing our acoustic guitars and his bass.
The best prison music I was ever involved with. Now the best music on the street that I've ever been involved with.
It got better when you got there.
Oh, thank you. First week of September 2019, I had been at San Quentin for a week. I was cruising around and I stopped and I asked if I could stay and listen to the music.
And of course we said, hell no.
You said some inappropriate remark of some kind, I'm sure. Listening to their original music, I realized that these were the guys. They were playing at a level that I knew I could play at. They were playing original music.
I was walking a group across the yard, and this music just, it just captivated us. This unique, eclectic group of guys on the yard, and they were bringing they were bringing life via their music to the lower yard.
There's some people who play instruments, and there's other people who are really musicians. And so to have just a gathering of musicians really creating something funky and beautiful and enjoyable.
We played with a lot of great guys over the years. Some of them are still behind a wall. Kind of carry them around with us in our hearts. Come on with it!
When guys get a date for the Board of Parole, to go in front of the board, I don't know about my colleagues, but I get a little obsessive. Commonly, if the board doesn't go well, people don't come to class. So he didn't come to class, and he came in at the end of class, and he was just, his whole body language was just down. And I was like, oh God. And I go over, and I'm just like, we don't hug, but it was like everything I could do not to. I was just so like, I'm so sorry. And he's like, I'm going home. I was like, what? He's like, I'm going home. I can't be in the play, I'm going home. And I was like, I think I slugged him. Like,
Getting out of prison was a lot harder than getting in. Dwight was at his bar and I got a chance to say goodbye to him. Till they processed me out, and my brother and my son came and picked me up. But I recognized my brother. My son was standing behind me. I didn't recognize him. I had, for almost 35 years, not seen him in that context. Dwight and I, when we were still in the pen, I was talking to him about visions. I've been talking to him about visions for a long time, right? I couldn't, for the life of me, convince him that he was going to get paid. He couldn't see it for himself.
My biggest fear initially was somebody was going to knock on the door and say, Crisman, we made a mistake. Turn around, cuff up, you're going back. That took a long time. Took a long time to get over that. Took a long time to feel comfortable walking down the street in the open air. I really had to look 10 ways either way before I even thought about stepping off a curb and crossing. I felt so vulnerable in the crosswalk.
No, I came out of prison figuring that I was going to be alone. We all left separately. We were not in communications with each other. Literally gave all of my Quentin Blue music charts away. And then within a few days' time, living at Francisco Homes, I found out that Dwight lived downstairs from me in the other half of the duplex, which was also a Francisco Home property. He walked out into the front yard one morning when I was looking out the window upstairs. It's like, oh my God, it's you! Oh, you think this is weird? Richie lives in that house down the street. It's like, what? We're getting the band back together.
It was good. It was good. Oh, it was fun.
We're here at Redondo Beach, and I just talked to the waitress. There's a stage right there. Do you hire bands? What does she say? She said, yes.
Is the name? Is that the name of the band?
Quentin Blue.
Yeah. Is that the Johnny Cash reference?
No, it's because we were all at San Quentin.
Were all of you in jail before? That's actually a cool story, man.
Yeah.
Let me give you my contact.
Switch. So that's the slip bar and eatery.
Okay.
In the bar there, in the restaurant. It's not a bar. It's not a bar. It's a restaurant. That because it's over.
Parole is prison light.
Another condition was that I could not be in any establishment that made more than half of its income from the sale of alcohol.
This Ruby Street ride.
Okay.
So no bars, no clubs. And as a musician, it's like, what do you mean no clubs? Well, no clubs. That's exactly what that means.
A whole one by myself, but not quite yet.
I've been working on and off. We've been doing graduations because now it's that time of year we've been doing graduations. My oldest son was 20 at the time. My daughter was mid-20. I think she's 25 or 26 when all this crap happened. And I went to prison. But my youngest son was 10 at the time. So I missed all that with him. And watching these kids brought up a lot of emotion. So, you know, being that music was on my mind and my kids are on my mind, my oldest son, Sean, was playing a lot of drums at the time. So I kind of concepted him playing at a concert. The board said in 2020, you are suitable for parole and we're so glad that you have family connection and family support. My parole conditions that I had to sign, in there was a clause that said, absolute keep away. You cannot connect with your kids. Likely, the best we can figure out is because their mother is the victim in this conviction.
To C#, 7.
My right symbol.
I think I first met you. You were just the kid down the street. Dwight and Luana were at our wedding, and that's the last time I saw Luana alive.
What resulted because of my inability to make tough decisions and my lack of skill and knowledge in dealing with this and my own weakness in wanting to continue to medicate and cope with a dysfunctional life. I drank, and that was not good for her. That did not help her manage her own addiction. She fell and hit her eye in the bathroom. And I did not know that until later that she had slipped into a coma on the way to the hospital, the emergency room. And the next thing I know, there are 6 officers showing up at the house, rudely breaking down the side gate, coming in and dragging me out, handcuffing me and arresting me.
In front of your children?
Mm-hmm. I was blamed by the police because of previous reports that she had made. She made several police reports against me alleging abuse, which she later recanted. I had to understand what being vulnerable is about and the power of vulnerability to be able to say, okay, if you didn't do what they convicted you of, what the hell did you do? Let's see. Take this, make it even more your own, and find a way to be an even more powerful storyteller with your phrasing. And I know you got it in you because of all the crap we've all been through. We've got that inside.
Today, I can do something like that.
Yes, you
Go
can.
up there.
Yes, you can. You heard it.
Yeah.
See, take it easy.
Oh, yeah.
Here, hand it to me. I'll hold it up for you. You can see it. Happy birthday, dear Dwight and Richie. Happy birthday to you.
When I was arrested, a great feeling of relief came over me.
This is a singing bowl. This was given to me on one of my birthdays by Dwight, a good friend of mine.
When I started to study Buddhism,
I gotta give you 3.
I became concerned that I had stolen the joy out of somebody's life.
This Buddha is made out of soap, carved soap.
I got married to a woman who had a son and a daughter, preteens. And they had been without a father for a very long time. And they immediately bonded to me, and I chose to sexually abuse them for a period of about 10 years. I was unable to stop this from happening. That doesn't sound reasonable, but it's true. I felt alone, and as a child, I was molested several times, one person quite often. Because I was molested and my barriers were broken, I equate, at the time, sexual intimacy as real intimacy. You know, I know better now. Just sharing this story is an intimate moment for us. We're friends. There isn't a whole lot that's provided to you with regard to rehabilitation services for someone with a sex offense charge.
It's about developing an understanding of the harms that I've caused.
I started looking at this in terms of empathy, right? And when I got into the lifers group, we got into a section where we needed to understand what empathy was. And I wrote a letter from the standpoint of my victim, man, what she'd suffered in her last moments. And it not only shifted something seriously in me, but I saw it actually shift in the other people. They began to realize, so that's what this is about.
I had done enough reading where I had begun to believe that cognitive behavioral intervention, cognitive behavioral therapy, it was the key to this whole thing, because I had programming in myself that I didn't understand or even know was there. So I formed a group that was based on some videos that we would watch and then discussion. And I wondered if I would get people to sign up for it. And when I put up sign-up sheets in the buildings, I got back like 65 people that wanted to be in this group. Wow. And I couldn't do that, but I knew that it had legs. It would be something that could cycle. The takeaway I got from that was that I was doing something for someone else, where my life prior to that had always been, hey, what's in it for me?
Hurt people hurt people. But the other side of that is
healed people heal people.
Healed people heal people. This experience that we have, what do you do with it? What are we supposed to do with it? And my answer is be ready.
Yeah.
Be ready to step in where it's appropriate, to use the life experiences that we have and say, here's my hand.
This is almost actually happening.
There he is.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
How you doing, sir?
I am doing so well. This is like a moment of truth. We're playing with our buds.
The other half of the band finally showed
Okay, sorry that I'm getting a little emotional, but that's
quite all right.
that
Bring it
one.
on, man. Bring it on. 2, 3.
Richie was the one person that I got to play with that he lets you be you. The hard work is just trusting each other. to make something come together.
Classes like AA, NA, Restorative Justice, these are all really important programs when it comes to reconciling what you've done, where you've been, the harms you've caused, the things you want to do to close off this aspect of your life. But when you do the arts programming, you're having a chance to step into the person you want to create for yourself.
What are you doing about like retirement? Like I know me, I'm coming home with no 401k, no retirement funds, no RIA, none of that crap.
Get out, you look around, you take a deep breath, and then you say, okay, this is what I need. And people are going to be there to help you. We came out here, this is where we would come and sit on buses and play.
We were all like sitting up here, like, they're coming, we heard they're coming. It's just awesome that they want to come in here and do this and see us.
Just because we're out there doesn't disconnect us from you.
It's like family will always say, oh, you're doing such a great job. That's wonderful. Isn't that cute? You great little inmate. Isn't that what? I think we're past that now.
What I hope will happen is that we will have a modicum of success with our music when it's released to the streaming services. Do I think it's going to make me rich? It already has, but not monetarily, but it has enriched my life.
I'm humbled by the fact that people care enough about me to want to participate in this. So I'm kind of on a reverse path now, an upward spiral rather than a downward spiral.
I would like to write a hit song. I would like to have my music featured in film. Oh, wait.
Richie will say, I don't believe in coincidences. I personally do believe in coincidences, but I wouldn't say that to him. But it does feel like our coming back together with the band and having the success that we have had so far, that I cannot say to Richie that it's just a coincidence.
Not sure about it or what I will do. No need to doubt it, already come through. The sparks from passing leave nothing but ash, echoed in words that's left in the past. Days turn to shadows that swallowed alive. Old dirty windows that hinder my sight. Revisited memories where holes mark my time. Leave only bakeries that turn on a dime. Take two. What's the soul?